Peter Fonda, star of the 1969 cult classic Easy Rider, has died at the age of 79.
His family said he passed away peacefully at his home in Los Angeles after suffering from lung cancer. Our correspondent Peter Bowes takes a look back at his career.
Easy Rider, the counterculture classic, the open road, sex, drugs and rock and roll. The film was written, produced and starred Peter Fonda, along with Dennis Hopper, playing a pair of long-haired bikers travelling through the American Southwest and Deep South. It touched a nerve with the country's youth and captured the mood of the times. It also spawned a new era in filmmaking, focused on younger generations. It earned Peter Fonda an Oscar nomination for Best Original Screenplay and catapulted him to stardom in Hollywood. Later in his career, he was nominated for Best Actor in the 1997 drama Yuli's Gold, where he played a Florida beekeeper. He won a Golden Globe for the film. Peter Fonda was part of Hollywood royalty, the son of the actor Henry Fonda and younger brother of Jane Fonda. Like his father, he was honoured with a star on Hollywood's Walk of Fame, a lasting tribute to the actor, and as news emerged of his death, a place for his fans to remember their hero. In a statement, Peter Fonda's family said they were mourning the loss of a sweet and gracious man who had an indomitable spirit and love of life. Jane Fonda said he was her sweet-hearted baby brother and went out laughing.
Well, that was Peter Bowes reporting. Let's talk now to film reporter Brian Welk, who joins us from Los Angeles. Brian, very good morning to you. I know it's early hours for you. Tell us a little bit about the reaction there's been to his death.
There's just been an outpouring of support, and he was such a cultural touchstone and really defined an entire era of counterculture, as it was previously said in the segment just a moment ago. Really, Easy Rider was so much more than a movie. It was representative of the entire generation of the 1960s and the era of filmmaking, and he was the face of that as his character, Captain America. He really just jumped off the screen.
And of course, the Fonda dynasty, that extraordinary acting dynasty that has existed now, what, 4 or 5 generations? Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, it's interesting. Henry Fonda, when he saw the movie, he really didn't understand it in the same way. It was really represented an older guard of Hollywood, and suddenly his son was now the face of this new generation, was becoming a millionaire. That was really the mood of this at the time, and he's been part of an entire new generation that even surpassed him with his own daughter, Bridget Fonda. It's really just part of a long line of Hollywood royalty, as you already said. And what was great is that he managed to go beyond his countercultural legacy and prove even years, decades later, that he could actually act, and he was more than just a biker character or hippie.
There's, of course, the new Quentin Tarantino film, which is just about to be released here in the UK, which is very much set in that era of the late 60s, the early 70s. What was it about that time that Peter Fonda was so part of in terms of acting and the style of films that was changing so much?
Well, you know, he got his start as a movie actor in B films with Roger Corman, and he was doing several of those, but with Easy Rider, he wanted to really break out and do something independent, do something that was representative of the youth of the time period specifically. And he managed to do that. They put in rock music. They put in a lot of sex, drugs, and rock and roll, but it was stripped. All the story was kind of stripped away, and suddenly this was part of an entirely new style of filmmaking. It was indebted to a whole group of anti-hero movies of that era, and was like kind of the great biker movie after seeing great westerns in generations before. So it was really just one of many things as part of this larger, completely shifting culture at that time.
Brian, thank you very much for your time this morning. That's Brian Welk, film reporter from The Wrap, just talking about the death of Peter Fonda. The news announced this morning he's died at the age of 79.